Hi everyone, today my partner and I will be discussing Kelsey Oseid. Kelsey Oseid is a 32-year-old illustrator, author, and naturalist. Her work is primarily done in gouache. She lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with her husband Nick and her two cats, Jamie and Fiona. Her hobbies include taking walks, visiting gardens and parks, and knitting. She has stated that walking and visiting garden has given her inspiration from what she's seen around her. She's also stated that knitting gives her the satisfaction of creating something with her own hands, which is a similar feeling she gets when working on her illustrations. David Attenborough, Jane Goodall, and E.L. Wilson are all famous naturalists and biologists that she has gained inspiration and passion from. Her education. As a child, she received early art lessons from her father, who was a watercolor artist. As a teenager, she attended art classes at the Minnesota School of Botanical Art. In terms of her college education, she attended Loyola University Chicago. It was here she received a degree in visual communications and a degree in sociology. This is a brief history of her work. In 2014, we see her work take on quilt patterns and geometric shapes. We also see some of her work take inspiration from lino cut prints. 2015, we continue to see inspiration from quilts, and we also see some inspiration from more folk-based art and embroidery. In 2016, this was a year she challenged herself to draw different species of animals each day of the year. This became known as her Creatures of Order series. For the month of January, she drew the Perching Bird series. In 2017, she illustrated a book called Whose Poop Is That?, in which it was a children's book discussing different animal poops. In 2017, we also see her first book published, What We See in the Stars, a scientific book discussing the different cosmic art, mythology, and science around stars and everything in space. In 2018, we also see her second book release, Whales, an illustrated celebration. Here does she discuss and illustrates the different cetaceans of the ocean. She also collaborated by illustrating two other books, The Animal World and Creatures of the Order. In 2019, she once again did another illustration book for Whose Footprint Is Back, a book discussing different type of animal footprints. In 2020, she released her third book, Nest, Eggs, and Birds, an illustrated aviary. Here, she depicts the lives of birds, eggs, and their homes. In 2021, we see her illustrations take back inspiration from scientific illustrations. We see this in her A Rainbow of Mushroom series. Here are some examples of some of her work. In the Creatures of Order series, we've discussed that she drew a different species for each order. Here we also see one of her most famous pieces, the Lepidoptera work, which is most famously known as the Butterfly Piece. We also see the Rainbow Mushroom series. For each smaller mushroom included in the larger illustration, she also created smaller prints. We also see a rainbow of fungi, which was another piece celebrating the bright and colorful world of fungi. For Ocean Giants, which came from Kazuki's Natural World, she decided to challenge herself once again by creating a series of work focusing on a different natural topic for each month of the year. In this piece, she focuses on ocean giants. We see her depicting from octopus to orcas to jellyfish.
When Kelsey Oseid was very young, her father, who was a painter, taught her how to paint. He was the first person who inspired her to become an artist. Besides, she was also inspired by David Attenborough, who also has a love for nature and history. He's an English broadcaster, biologist, natural historian, and author. He's best known for the collaboration with BBC Natural History Unit. Another person that inspired Kelsey Oseid was Maria Sibylla Merian. She was a 17th century German artist, scientific illustrator, and naturalist. Merian was known for her special love for animals, plants, and insects, especially butterflies. Just like Oseid, Marian's artwork celebrates nature and science. It's very unique, complex, detailed, and informational. Although Oseid and Marian are 4 centuries apart, there are many similarities in their illustrations, such as nature themes, the use of colors and textures, and the vintage mood. Oseid is one of the young artists that has influenced pop culture, specifically fashion. She is best known for her collaboration with H&M Kids, in which her drawings of animals and wildlife are featured on children's clothes and shoes. Oseid's passion for nature and her style of drawing has influenced some young emerging artists. One of them is Leigh Art, a nature artist and illustrator based in South Africa. Leigh also has a great love for plants, flowers, and animals. In some of Leigh's artwork, we can see that they influence from Oseid in terms of the subject matter and the style of drawing. Another artist who finds inspiration from Oseid is Vera Smirnova, an illustrator and animal artist based in Moscow. Smirnova's artwork is influenced by Oseid in terms of the animal theme, textures, and colors used. As an illustrator, naturalist, and author, Kelsey Oseid's artwork focuses on natural history, science such as biodiversity, astronomy, and the ways humans relate to the natural world. She is also passionate about museums, nature documentaries, and illustration books. Oseid's artwork is a beautiful and harmonious combination of natural history, science, and art. In one of her interviews, she states, I want everything I make to have an educational element, but I also always want it to feel beautiful and honoring and celebratory about the Earth's amazing beauty and complexity. Oseid's artwork has a uniquely playful and vintage quality, is appealing, detailed, and enlightening at the same time. Thank you for listening.